Full and uncut versions available on Patreon. Check in the description below.
Greetings once again, Pokemaniacs. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with more of the Pokemon Adventures manga. The story of Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Where previously, we mainly focused on Diamond, him making his way to his respective lake. Along the way, encountering a wild Licky, capturing it, and it turning out to be one of the best things he could have ever done. Along the way, he ends up at the Berlitz estate, meeting with Sebastian, which is very close to Professor Rowan's laboratory, that ends up under attack from a horde of Yanmega. But as Sebastian and Diamond go to help out, Diamond spots a very familiar-looking drone, the one usually used by members of Team Galactic to control Pokemon. After dealing with it, we find out that it was under the control of Mars, who we had previously met, while our heroes met her at the power plant. She's made her way to one of the lakes, and she muses to herself that it is up to Cyrus to choose where one of the galactic bombs will be set off. Seems that Pearl's thought that they only have one galactic bomb was in fact true. So as Diamond makes his way back home for a change of clothes because his got shredded during the assault, Pearl is getting close thanks to the help of Rad Rickshaw, who informs Pearl about why he was captured by Team Galactic. As one of the more notable families of the town that he lived in, he knew various myths and legends, and the one that Cyrus was most interested in? The legend of Dialga and Palkia, masters of time and space. Pearl is still trying to put together what Cyrus is up to, but the question also is, can he put it together before the galactic bomb goes off? Join me as I find out, won't you? Alright, Pokemon Adventures Diamond and Pearl / Platinum, Volume 7 / Volume 36. And on the cover we have Platinum this time, although unlike where she was featured on the covers with Diamond and Pearl in the last two volumes, Platinum is only featured here with Cynthia and her Garchomp, flying jet shark, street shark. It doesn't look like Platinum has picked up any new Pokemon from this unless Cynthia gives her Garchomp, which I'd be shocked if that happened. Alright, let's jump in. The mural of the Lake Guardians. Yeah, the teams are really filling out now. Everyone's about halfway to 6, though Diamond has 4. Alright, Chapter 58, Stopping Sableye. We pick up in Veilstone City, at the Galactic Veilstone building. Oh, it's him. This guy is, Charon. He enters into, is this the place where they were working on the galactic bomb? He says, what the? I rushed down here, but nobody's here yet. And then, I think the elite grunt approaches from behind. He says, nice to meet you. I'm told you're the one in charge of this operation, Commander Cha. But he stops him saying, Charon stops and saying, skip the formalities. You still haven't captured the Pokemon of knowledge, emotion, and willpower, have you? If we don't have the crystals created by those 3, we can't create the red chain that will force Dialga and Palkia to obey us. Do you understand? The galactic bomb will arrive at the lake shortly. After the bomb evaporates the lake, it's only a matter of time until we get those 3 Pokemon in our clutches. He cut to Twin Leaf Town, where it seems like Licky's been using its tongue to swing Diamond all the way home. Man, Licky just coming in clutch all the time. Shoot, Licky might be the fastest Pokemon Diamond has. As Licky lands, Diamond gets off saying, we're here, and we made great time thanks to you, Kit. Look over there. True, Don, Kit, that's my house. And that's Pearl's house over there. Come on, let's go. Oh, and bringing up the rear, Sebastian in the stagecoach alongside Rosanna, as he says, young Master Diamond? Rosanna says, hey! Sebastian drives the carriage. He says, well, we followed him all the way to Twin Leaf Town, a town filled with the fresh scent of new leaves. Rosanna says, we sure did. As a matter of fact, I felt compelled to come after finding out about the danger the Sinnoh region is in. As Diamond enters his home, he says, I am home. But there's no response. He looks around saying, I told Mom I'd be coming back tomorrow sometime, and that was yesterday. So where is she? He looks around saying, huh? Has a bit of a flashback to his mom just kind of hanging out. Oh wow, is that his dad? It looks a little goofy. Shoot, this is one of the few times you actually see an image of the protagonist's father. Well, somewhat. And in most cases, you'll see the mom, and unless the dad is like super important, you never see him. But nope, there he is. And apparently Joanna has a Glammeow and a Kangaskhan. Diamond thinks I haven't told her what we're really doing yet. She still thinks we're on a trip we got as a prize for winning the Special Merit Award at the Comedy Grand Prix. Oh, was she watching and celebrating? Yeah, you see a flashback of her on the phone with Diamond saying, I saw Dia. That's my boy. You looked great on TV. I'm so excited that you won a contest on TV. And you even won a prize. On a what? A trip? Sure. Go ahead. Have fun. Loosey-goosey with it. I mean, she doesn't really know her child's in danger. Most of the time, the parents don't know. Diamond arrives home. Well, goes up to his room, saying I better get changed for starters. Opens the door to his room, and we see, he has, what was that called? The Super Scope? A Wiimote. That's one of those pads. Oh, man, that's kind of cool. Oh, I even see the Wii next to the TV. Yeah, that would be during that time period. He even puts the little figure, Pro Team, right on his shelf. Of course, he would. Oh, there's something in his closet. Oh, is it his jacket? Is he gonna put it on and then immediately take it off? As he suits up, he finds a letter from his mom saying, welcome home. It's been rather chilly lately, so I bought you a new jacket. It's very warm. As he goes to put on the jacket, the letter... Oh, I love that Licky Licky is helping him. But the letter from his mom flops down to the floor, but it's the backside. He reads it saying, something since you're back, I've decided to cook 10 servings of my special grilled berries. 10? Jesus. And going down to Lake Verity now to pick the ingredients. Oh God. Stakes just got raised. Hearing that in the fastest movement he's ever had, Diamond throws off the jacket. You have Sebastian and he's forgetting her name. Rosina. Well, how to pronounce her name, honestly. They're nearing his door. Sebastian says, this must be young Master Diamond's house. Excuse me. And Rosina just shouts, Diamond! Only for Licky Licky. Well, actually, it's Diamond, because he's already booking it. To just bash them over with the door. They fall over, and Diamond and his Pokemon are gone in the distance, leaving Sebastian and Rosina just bewildered. Like, Diamond can move fast when he really needs to, especially when it comes to Mama. I understand. Somewhat. Meanwhile, in the northernmost area of the Sinnoh region near Lake Acuity, which means platinum. Now, am I saying that right? Lake Acuity? Yeah, Acuity. Yeah. Yep, I am in fact pronouncing it correctly. At least from what I looked up. And sure enough, there's platinum. Oh. Well, Maylene naturally is far ahead, and Candace, since she's used to the cold, right behind her. Platinum is kind of trailing a little bit behind, and Maylene and Candace notice this. Candace says, hold on a minute, let's take a shortcut. She brings out her Abomasnow. Oh, rock climb, okay. Yeah, they all get onto the back of Abomasnow, and she has it use rock climb so they can scale the mountain. As they reach the top of where they're going, Candace jumps off with a yay! Well, Platinum is clinging to its tail in shock, saying, amazing. Candace laughs, I wanted to warm things up now that we formed the not dressed appropriately for the weather girl trio. I love it. Good stuff. Oh, Maylene just questions, when did we form that trio? I mean, you formed it with the way that you look. Let's face it. Like, the further and further you go up to higher weather, the more I think, man, you girls... Like, it's a good thing you're young. Candace says, we're almost there. You just need to go through this forest and then... Oh God. Oh no, that's the lake. Okay, I didn't realize. I'm like, wait, what am I looking at? It's because of the contrast of the snow and then the whiteness of the lake, which I think should be frozen over. Interesting. Okay. Platinum says, mystified by it. So this is Lake Acuity. Candace questions, this your first time here? Platinum says, no, actually. I thought it would be my first time, but when I talked with my father the other day in Catalan City. Okay, cut back to when they were leaving Byron, Rowan, and Mr. Burlett. Byron says, Earl is going to Lake Valor, Dia is going to Lake Verity, and you're going to Lake Acuity. Platinum says, Lake Acuity, I wonder what it's like there. Mr. Burlett says, huh? Oh, I suppose you don't remember. You were just a little girl after all. Yeah, that tends to happen. Past a certain age, you just don't remember. Oh, it's what gives her the connection to the lake. Man, Destiny playing a hard role in this one. Each of the kids has some kind of connection to the lake, and Cyrus definitely knows that. Did he read something in the prophecy, or was it just a guess that they had these connections? Platinum is shocked, saying, you mean I've been to Lake Acuity before? Mr. Burlett smiles, saying, you certainly have. We went there to study the distribution of Pokémon in that habitat. I remember it well because I was so distraught when you went missing for a short time by the lake. They all went missing by the lake. Huh. Okay, yeah, man. I thought the stuff with Ruby and Sapphire was a lot of fate coming into play. And then Jirachi waking up conveniently when we needed it. And now this? Like, man. We've gone from some very interesting happenstance to just full-on fate take the wheel. Oh, and then suddenly the image of, which one is it? Is that Uxie? Uxie? Starts to flash before Platinum's eyes. Maybe that's why she saw the picture of the mural and immediately seemed to just vibe with it, because she's seen it before. In present day, I guess after Platinum tells them what's up, and it says, oh, I'm not really sure. I don't know if they just kind of just dismiss it, because it's just like, okay, we don't really know what to make of all that. Maylene says, anyhow, looks like we beat Team Galactic here. Candace says, I don't see anything wrong with the lake. But, damn it, what was Riolu? There you go. I had to think of the name briefly. Riolu seems to spot something sparkling in the distance. Sableye, oh god. God. Is this the first time we've seen a Sableye? I don't think so. Probably not. Nope, it was gold and silver. Okay. Oh, it's just a picture. Oh yeah, okay. Most of the other appearances of Sableye in the manga were very understated. I think this is the first time it just peeks out at me like full gremlin energy. But Riolu spots something shining in the distance. Maylene says, something shining over there. What do you think it is? And then out comes Sableye, hits it up a storm. Oh, what is it doing? Candace says, it's a Sableye, the darkness Pokemon. Maylene calls out for Riolu to go on the attack, but Sableye's shadow starts to extend and seems to hit Riolu. What was that? Shadow Sneak. Oh. Candace says, Riolu got attacked with Shadow Sneak. Maylene says no. But as Candace seems to get ready to unleash something, suddenly a Gastrodon just chomps down on her hand. Lets off Mud Bomb. As Platinum calls out for Candace, Maylene says that was Mud Bomb. And Candace is, very much covered in mud. And it ain't the therapeutic kind. She struggles in the mud, saying, can't move. These aren't wild Pokemon at all. They've been trained. Oh no, they're here. I thought we got here before them. But they're already here. Team Galactic. And a voice calls out, well done. You noticed. The final member, Jupiter. And the hottest. I have an easier time saying that because she actually looks older. It's really hard to tell ages in this one. I honestly should just be on the safe side and not say anything, but I don't know. Something about the one thigh exposed. Just, I don't know. Hard to say. And then the pose she got going on here, like, presenting. But Jupiter arrives on the scene saying, but since you've come all this way, why don't you stay and watch what's about to befall this lake? I'm Commander Jupiter of Team Galactic. It's time to meet your match. Okay. Alright, next is chapter 59, Getting Past Gastrodon. Yeah, easier said than done given the situation. Confronted by Jupiter, Candace questions our match. Maylene says, Commander? Platinum says, Jupiter? I love this one panel of just her leg on a rock. Just like, what? Like the artist also had an interest in Jupiter. You can always tell when the artist seems to like a particular character because it just presents them in a very interesting way. Jupiter says, that's right. Mars, Saturn, and me. I'm not as soft as the other commanders. Maylene says, I have to help Candace get out of that mud bomb. Riolu rushes over to Candace, but Jupiter says, you won't escape, and Gastrodon unleashes an attack against Riolu, downing it. Platinum says, Maylene, I'll wash the mud away with water. He sends out her Empoleon, but not even saying anything. I'm realizing Jupiter isn't directly giving commands to her Pokemon. She just gestures her head towards Empoleon, and Sableye rushes it, kicking it right in the chest, downing it. Dang! Jupiter brandishes a Pokemon, saying, I told you, didn't I? I'm not that soft. He then brings out a Tangrowth, which has always been a weird-looking Pokemon to me. But then again, Tangela was weird too. Platinum says, a Tangrowth, the vine Pokemon. Maylene says, be careful. The Tangrowth gets ready. Oh, but, whoa, what the heck? Oh, did it use Flash to increase Sableye's shadow power? Yo, a combo attack. What? Flash showed that Sableye can use Shadow Sneak. The attack hits Empoleon, Riolu, and only because Maylene manages to get Platinum out of the way, they're not hit. Maylene says, 4 Shadow Sneaks at once? Platinum questions, you used the rays of light shining through the vines to create multiple shadows, didn't you? Jupiter says, interesting. Caught me unawares. Well, Candace is still struggling in the mud. Oh, Candace says, don't think we're going to keep letting you have your own way. As I guess she managed to get to her Pokeball, bringing out a Bombasnow. Man, Jupiter he is just poised there. Like, my gosh, she's barely moved an inch. At most, she's like moved her the head to just look in people's direction. Jupiter says, impressive. You managed to open a Pokeball even though your fingers were stuck in the mud. Not bad at all. Candace says, go, Abomasnow. But the Tangrowth Sableye combination still continues. Tangrowth still using Flash, and Sableye still using Shadow Sneak. But Candace tells Abomasnow, ignore the shadows. Just concentrate on defeating Tangrowth. It's the one casting that light. Jupiter says, but can you defeat it? We see Tangrowth holding a berry? Oh, it's a bulk berry. And Jupiter has Tangrowth use natural gift. And Tangrowth just produces fire, which, given the status of Abomasnow, that, type advantage right there. Dang. What the heck? Candace is flung off of Abomasnow, who's now engulfed in flames. She calls out to Abomasnow. But Jupiter then seems to notice something else. It's a Team Galactic plane with the image of Yuxi on the bottom. Okay, one of the 3 planes that Saul took off. Okay, so they're all set to each of the locations for the lake. Jupiter looks to the plane, finally moving a little bit more. Is it me, or does Jupiter look like buff or built or something? Like, dang. I don't know. Maybe I'm just vibing with her character a little too much here, but it's kind of feeling like she's if you were to tell me she was 6'5", I'd believe you. They're here just when things were starting to get interesting. Platinum questions, is that Jupiter? Barely turning to look at them, says, exactly. But you know what? A similar airship will have arrived at Lake Valor and Lake Verity by now. However, only one of the airships is carrying the galactic bomb, he says, turning away from the girls. Platinum is shocked, questioning, only one? Jupiter tells them, Saturn is in charge of Lake Valor and Mars is in charge of Lake Verity, each of them hoping they have the real bomb. Okay, yeah, nah. I know I'm harping on this too much, but her back looks broad as all get out. And then this shot, there's just something, She makes me think of, what is it, Urbosa from The Legend of Zelda? It's okay if you don't see it, but man, she is just giving off that energy, domination. I could bench 5 of you and not break a sweat kind of energy. My goodness, hot. Jupiter tells them, but I couldn't care less which lake gets blown away. Couldn't care less? Not at all, she says with her Pokemon surrounding the girls. Dang, domination. Yes, mommy. I really gotta stop. Meanwhile, near Lake Verity, so we're gonna have one of these scenic shots for each of the girls, I guess. Wait, does Diamond have those runner shoes on? Is that how he's able to move so fast? Because I'm looking at the bottom of his shoes and they kind of look like the ones that Ruby had. Well, regardless, he's rushing off. I love that Licky's just going from tree to tree with Sheldon, holding Sheldon. You got Torterra in the back with Munchlax resting on it, and bringing up the rear is Sebastian and Rosine. Why can I not remember her name? Rosina, knowing that his mom was headed here. Diamond thinks, Mom, he says, she couldn't have chosen a worse time The day the lake is getting bombed, he arrives at the lake. I love Munchlax checking on Torterra, who is obviously exhausted. He and his Pokemon look around. I'm saying, Mom? Where's Mom? He then hears the rumbling of the Team Galactic plane approaches. Diamond says, oh no, they're here. Sebastian says, we finally caught up with you, young Master Diamond, as he and Rosena arrive. But Diamond then pushes them into the bushes, saying, hide! As a plane flies overhead, he tells them, that must be Team Galactic's airship. I wonder if they're on the ground. He then looks over to the friggin' windmill, seeing the Galactic grunts stationed around it, saying, they sure are. So many of them, too. Sebastian says, those are the ruffians who mistreated Master and Milady. While Rosena says, those are the guys who tore apart Professor Rowan's laboratory, Team Galactic. They both try to rush in, but are stopped by Diamond and Licky Licky. Diamond saying, hold it. He has them go in for a snack break, saying, first we have to find my mother and stop the bomb from going off. But they'll find me right away if I go around calling for my mom. Sebastian questions, what shall we do, young Master Diamond? Diamond says, I'll have Lax look for her. Lax knows my mom, and she knows Lax is my Pokemon. Even if Team Galactic finds Lax can just pretend to be a wild Pokemon. Munchlax thumps his chest, saying, you got it. He tells him, bring her here as soon as you find her. Now hurry. And Munchlax takes off. Diamond then says, as soon as Lax gets back with my mother, I want you to put her in the carriage and get her out of here. They both say, what? Rosena says, what about you, Dia? Diamond says, I'm going over there, pointing to the Team Galactic airship. He says, I'm going to stow away on that ship. Rosena questions, how are you going to get up there? Diamond says, I borrowed this Drifblim from Fantina when I traveled from Hearthome City to Canalao City. I'm going to give it back when I see her again, but while I still have it, he still has a Drifblim. That doesn't become his Drifblim. Man, there's been multiple times when gym leaders have just outright given people Pokemon. I don't know. I can't see her giving up her Drifblim fully. Like, that's her signature Pokemon right there. Diamond gets ready to take off, telling the two, see you later. I'm going to try and fly up there on Drifblim without them seeing me. Please take care of my mother and Lax for me. But as he makes his way, he says, I'm sure Pearl and Lady are facing Team Galactic at Lake Valor and Lake Acuity. Now it's my turn, he says, smacking his cheeks. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. He then comes upon Munchlax, saying, oh, Lax, that was quick. You found her already? Munchlax shakes his head. As Diamond says, great. Now take her down to the carriage like I said. I'm going to fly up there from here. He says, what are you trying to tell me? And Mars, with a Zubat holding... Man, what is with his friggin' bat wings in this universe? Like friggin' blades. Well, that Zubat, most threatening Zubat ever, has its wing to Joanna's neck. Mars saying, this is what your Pokemon is trying to tell you. Now, drop your Pokeball. Shoot. Bad guy team is not holding any punches back in this one. It did not go well for Platinum and the girls, and they had numbers on their side. But Diamond has become stronger. Alright, Chapter 60. Outwitting Octillery. Oh, we're cutting over to Pearl. Pearl arrives at Lake Valor with Rad Rickshaw. Rad Rickshaw says, here we are, Lake Valor. Pearl thinks to himself, last time I was here, I got blown up into the sky by a tornado. He then looks back to where the blockade was, thinking, the road isn't blocked like it was back then. They arrive. As Pearl gets off the bike, he says, here we are. I'm going to search the area first. Chatler, Chimler, Railer. He brings out all of his Pokemon, all at the ready. What a great shot. Oh, and with all these Pokemon, I get to bring out Infernape and Luxray. Good stuff. Stragapose. Pearl says, thanks for the ride, Mr. Rickshaw. Rad says, oh, no problem. This is the first time I've come here. It sure is beautiful. It's no surprise this is one of Sinnoh's most popular tourist spots, he says, looking over the lake. Everything seems all right, though. Cliff and Cliffette, I don't know why I said it like that. Cliff and Cliffette, take a look-see around the area. Let us know if you see anything out of place. The two Clefairy go looking around in the air. Pearl says, but be careful. The bomb is scheduled to be dropped today, so Team Galactic must be lurking around here. Rad questions, what do we do now? Where are you going to search first? Pearl says, I have a place in mind. He points towards the small island in the lake. Rad looks out, saying, that little island? Okay. He notices Pearl is elsewhere, and he sees Pearl struggling with, a log. He says, I don't have any Pokemon who can swim. I'll just have to swim across the lake myself. Get on, everybody. A little makeshift raft. Rad says, hey, isn't that dangerous? Pearl says, I'll use Schindler's fire like jet propulsion engine. I'll be fine. Final last words. He tells Infernape, okay, do your thing, Chimler. And Infernape unleashes a massive fire blast, creating a bit of a jet engine. I love how Chatot and Luxray are just standing pristine on the bow. Pearl calls back, I'll be back as soon as I can, Mr. Rickshaw. Rad says, what a spirited boy. Strong-willed, too. He's willing to go to great lengths to make sure that bomb doesn't get dropped here or anywhere else. All right, then. I'll take a look around myself. See if I can find anything to help him. Suddenly, something grabs his leg. He says, what the? And then he's pulled into the water. Oh, God. That would be a sucky way to go. Meanwhile, Pearl's group arrives at the island, him saying, good, we're almost to the island. Rayler, first thing when we get there, I want you to check the place out with your x-ray vision. But the same kind of tendril that grabbed Rad Rickshaw is lurking underneath their makeshift raft. Oh, suddenly, Pearl is pulled into the water. He calls out, what the? Something's pulling my leg. As he's sunk into the water, he looks down, seeing Octillery, the jet Pokemon. Oh, and he notices Octillery getting ready for something. He brings his head out of the water, telling his Pokemon he's gonna fire an Octazooka. Heads down, everybody. Ooh! And the log that everyone was on is blasted apart. All of them going into the water, which ain't great for Infernape. As they tread the water, in comes Saturn in a little hoverpod craft thingy. How weird. Think, you can predict what a Pokemon is going to do by observing its body language. It's been a while since I've been deployed out into the field. I'd come out more often if I knew it would be this interesting. Pearl says, he says, Saturn, personally chosen by Boss Cyrus. I know all about you. I've been keeping an eye on you all this time. I don't want anyone getting in the way of our plan. He points to, he brings up something on the glass housing of his little craft, saying, and that goes for the cycle shop owner who came with you too. Look, we see a waterlogged Rad Rickshaw being helped by his Clefairy. Pearl says, Mr. Rickshaw? Saturn says, I commend you for your attempting to stop us, but the bomb is going to drop in this lake, and sooner than you think. We see the last of the three crafts hovering overhead, Saturn saying, in about 3 minutes to be exact. To be honest, there's only one bomb, and no one knows which lake will be the lucky one. Even I don't know, but I really, 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 really hope it's this one, Lake Valor, he says, pounding his chest. Pearl questions, but why? Saturn looms overhead, pointing down at Pearl, saying, what an odd question. I have devoted my life to creating the galactic bomb. Obviously, I want to see how powerful it is with my own eyes. You know, if I leave you here and Lake Valor is the lake that gets bombed, you'll be evaporated along with the water. That would be interesting to watch too. But there's something I want to ask you first. He uses the arms of his robotic craft to bring Pearl up to eye level, saying, why did you head straight for this island the moment you arrived here? Directly without any hesitation. Because you know something, don't you? Tell me. What do you know? Meanwhile, Pearl's Pokemon try to get him out of Saturn's grasp. The countdown begins. 60 seconds. Hey, it's 60 seconds, right? Yeah, I think so. 1 minute left. Meanwhile, back with Mars and Diamond, holding Joanna hostage, Mars says, well, lower your Pokeball. Joanna calls out to her son. Diamond calls out to his mother. While Mars, a crazed look in her eyes, says, hurry up. Put it down. Diamond puts all of his Pokeballs onto the ground. Puts the Drifblim onto the ground. But Marston says, you've got others on you, don't you? Drop your Pokeballs, all of them. Diamond does just that, putting down Licky Licky, Torterra, and Shieldon. Mars tells him, I heard there were some kids getting in the way of Team Galactic's plans, but I never thought one of them would be you. Long time no see. he only remembers you from silhouette. Diamond questions, long time no see. Mars says, don't you remember me? We met at the Valley Windwork. The images run through Diamond's mind as he says, back then, that was Team Galactic too? Mars says, bingo, bringing out Perugly, Yanmega, and what is that one again? Bronzor. There we go. She introduces herself with a bow saying, I'm Mars, one of Team Galactic's commanders, personally chosen by Boss Cyrus. Meanwhile, with Rosanna, she's looking around saying, the Driftbloom didn't take off. Meanwhile, Sebastian in the carriage says, we have the carriage ready, but the Munchlax who went to look for young Master Diamond's mother hasn't returned. Did something untoward happen to him? Mars dismounts the tree, saying, we needed a lot of kilowatts to create a galactic bomb powerful enough to dry up an entire lake. That's why we raided that power plant. Ever since we completed the bomb, I've been waiting with bated breath for this day. Diamond's at the ready saying, okay, I put my Pokeballs down like you said. Now it's your turn. Let go of my mother. Mars approaches Diamond saying, you don't seem to grasp the gravity of your situation. He pokes him on the nose saying, you're in no position to dictate to me. But, you know, something very entertaining is about to occur. So you might as well get comfortable and watch. She pulls on Diamond saying, would you like to get a better view? Of course, if you get too close, you might get blown away. Diamond pulls himself from Mars's grasp, but not dropping her smile, she says, oh, so you're going to fight back after all? Diamond says, so you're going to dry up this whole lake with a bomb. You call that entertaining? No, that isn't entertaining at all. That's not my idea of fun. No way. Joanna's taken aback by this side of her son she's not used to. Mars says, so what? You think you can stop us? She seems to command Bronzor to do something. Oh, she's dropped a smile, saying, you're such a spoilsport. Why would you want to go and ruin other people's fun? Boring. She commands Bronzor to use Gyro Ball on Diamond, knocking him back. But seeing her little baby in danger, Joanna continues to squeeze the basket of berries very tightly, up until the point where one of the berries squirts right into Zubat's face. Joanna pushes back the Zubat with her basket, much to Mars' surprise, saying, now's your chance, Dia. Diamond dives for his Pokeballs and brings out Driftblim, recalling his Munchlax along the way, taking off into the sky. He calls out, run, Mom, and keep running straight ahead until you find Sebastian and Rosanna. Mars ascends with her Yanmega, saying, you think you're going to fly up to the airship? Well, you've got another thing coming. Yanmega, and it's a race to the airship. Diamond saying there's nothing fun about blowing up a lake. No question about it. I have to stop them. I have to get in that airship and stop them. But Yanmega's too fast. Mars managing to cut off Diamond's ascension. As she says, U-turn. Yanmega slams into Driftblim. Diamond saying, a Yanmega. The one I fought last night at Professor Rowan's lab. Mars says, that's right, I was there too. She then says, charge, Perugly, sending Perugly down onto Driftblim. She then commands Perugly to use Shadow Claw on Driftblim, knocking back Diamond. Oh, this poor Driftblim. But despite the attack, Driftblim manages to catch Diamond and keep him from falling. Diamond calls out, Driftblim, hang in there. We're almost up to the airship. Meanwhile, Mars looks at a little readout device that she has, saying, begin countdown. 20. Joanna makes her way to Rosanna and Sebastian, and they take off. 19. Diamond struggles to keep himself on Driftblim and not fall. Mars saying, remember, Grunt, after the explosion when Miss Spirit, the emotion Pokemon, appears, don't let it escape. 18. 17. The hatch of the airship opens. 16. Platinum, Candace, and Maylene can only look on as Jupiter tells them, the airship is hovering above the drop zone. The only thing left to do is wait. Then, after the explosion, as soon as you see the knowledge Pokemon appears, we'll catch it. 15. 14. The hatch of that airship opens. 13. Pearl is still in the clutches of Saturn, him telling him, now tell me the secret of that island. 12. What do you know? Tell me. 11, 10. Saturn then looks over to the countdown. 9. He shows it to Pearl, saying, yes, you just wait and see. 8. Take your position, Grunts. That's right. As soon as it appears after the explosion, you are to capture Azelf, the willpower Pokemon. 7. 6, 5, 4. The hatch over that lake opens on the airship. 3. At Lake Verity, Diamond says the hatch is opening. 2. At Lake Valor, Pearl says they're going to drop the bomb. 1. At Lake Acuity, Platinum says, which lake? And at each of the lakes, all three of them say, which lake are they going to drop the bomb on? The bomb goes off. See, despite the fact that Drifblim is in Diamond's possession, it's not registered as his Pokemon. But then again, we've had moments in other series where Pokemon have been temporarily lent out. I just figured it'd be in his registry, but I guess not. No, that doesn't always have to be the case. I gotta admit, this is intense. Like, goddamn. Alright, Chapter 61, Tackling Tangrowth. Oh, okay. That's what it is. At Lake Verity, Diamond looks on with shock. Mars says, oh, the countdown is over, but nothing happened. No explosion, no shock, no nothing. At Lake Acuity, Platinum, Maylene, and Candace look on with shock. As Jupiter says, oh, which means this lake wasn't the target for the galactic bomb. Meanwhile, Pearl and his Pokemon are just being blown to and fro while clinging to Saturn's craft. The galactic bomb has gone off. The water evaporates. Magikarp flail. Rad Rickshaw's Clefairy try to get him to safety. As everything is done, Pearl opens his eyes, seeing the flailing Magikarp. He says, the lake water, it evaporated instantly. It was here. So the target of Team Galactic's bomb was like Valor. Jupiter laughs. Such power, just as I imagined it. Amazing, 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 amazing. Boss Cyrus chose the lake that I'm in charge of. That means he considers me his best commander. Saturn then tosses all of Pearl's Pokemon to the ground. Well, the lake bed, the dried lake bed, but he's still holding Pearl, saying, surprise, this is what true power is, the power of Team Galactic. No matter who stands before us, we will prevail. And now that you've witnessed our display of power, you feel compelled to tell me, right? To answer the question I put to you a moment ago. Pearl questions, you mean tell you how come I headed straight for this island as soon as I got to the lake? Why not? I've got nothing to hide. I've been here before, and I found a cave. Theo was standing by the lake while I was inside it. He told me he saw a flash of light shoot up from the island. All I remember is being blinded by the light, and I don't know what caused it. But after a while, I started to remember what I saw back there. There was a puddle on the floor of the cavern, and a reflection of a beautiful blue-headed Pokemon on the surface of the water. I wanted to come here and investigate. If that Pokemon was hiding somewhere deep down in the cave, I was going to find it using Raylar's X-ray vision. Saturn, using his craft, brings Pearl along into the cave, saying, just as I thought, it must have awoken temporarily. What you saw was the willpower Pokemon Azelf. Did you hear that, Grunts? And the Grunts, with a bevy of Machamp and Haunter, make their way down the dried riverbed. Saturn saying, Azelf is inside that island, as I suspected. Now that the lake is gone, it won't fall asleep again. It should appear any minute now. All of you, execute Formation A. As they make their way to the quote-unquote puddle, something bubbles up from inside. Saturn saying, it's here. And out rises, what is it called again? Azelf? Oh, and in the caverns of the other islands, the other lakes, we see Uxie and Mesprit rise as well. Over with Diamond and Mars, they feel a rumbling, which is odd because they're up in the air. But Diamond says, an earthquake? No, even the air is shaking. Oh, okay, that explains it. Mars says, it's here. It's coming out. The legendary emotion Pokemon, Mesprit. Meanwhile, with Platinum and Jupiter, they feel a rumbling. Candace says, everything is shaking. Jupiter says, the explosion at the lake is awoken. All of them. The legendary knowledge Pokemon, Uxie. Sebastian spots the Pokemon, saying, something is flying out. Diamond spots Mesprit, saying, thinking to himself, that Pokemon is. While Platinum does the same, saying, I've never seen a Pokemon like that before. She thinks to herself, spotting Uxie. No doubt about it, I've met that Pokemon before. Candace calls out, but this lake wasn't bombed. So why did the legendary Pokemon come out? Jupiter turns, saying, shall I enlighten you? It's because those three Pokemon, Azelf, Uxie, and Mesprit, are connected by an invisible bond. It's thought that Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf all came from the same egg. Which, that's what the Pokedex reads on Azelf, the willpower Pokemon. It is thought that Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf all came from the same egg, which, that is a wild bit of lore. Since they are so closely bonded, if something happens to one of them, the other two are affected as well. In other words, since one of them woke up, all of them woke up. Get it? No? Whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyway, since this is the first and last time you will ever lay eyes on Uxie, do it, Tangrowth. And Tangrowth stretches out its arms, going for Uxie. Maylene says she's trying to capture it. Candace says, we won't let you. Frostlass. And Frostlash gets ready to attack. But Jupiter, once again barely moving, simply glances over saying Stone Edge. And Gastrodon does just that, slamming a stone right into Frostlash, which sends it plummeting into Candace, which, man, this woman is intimidating. Jupiter simply says, critical hit. Maylene then tells Meditite to use Power Swap and Rock Tomb, just as Sableye goes for Meditite. But the Rock Tomb hits, encasing Sableye. Jupiter says, not bad, but not good enough. And she has Sableye use Punishment, knocking back Maylene and Meditite, which, my God! Look, we've seen some very, very powerful admins of organizations before, but to take down 3 Pokemon trainers at once, gym leaders and our protagonist too, like, my God, and not even be struggling with it either. Like, how do you beat this woman? Platinum watches in horror, as Jupiter says, such pointless moves. Even if you attacked me directly, that wouldn't stop Team Galactic. Look, the most important mission of that airship is to capture Uxie. As a weird suction device comes out of the airship, Jupiter says Tangrowth's job was to drive Uxie into Formation U, the machine's capturing range, and now that task is complete as Tangrowth brings Uxie right over to the capture device. A net comes out of the device, and Uxie is taken. Platinum sends out Rapidash, telling it to burn through the net. And Jupiter simply says, oh, shit. It's high time you learn that we are unstoppable as long as I'm around. She throws a berry, what is it, a Pasho berry? To Tangrowth, and has it use Natural Gift again, which unleashes an ice attack onto Rapidash, which freezes it. Platinum is horrified as Uxie is taken, and the airship takes off. Dang. I knew they'd be strong. I thought our crew was at least going to put up more of a fight than that. Just friggin' schooled, man. Not even like, just gently. It was rough. Alright, the last chapter of this video, 62. Mixing it up with Machamp. We pick up with Mesprit being surrounded by a flock of Staravia. Mesprit tries to dodge their talons and claws. Mars, still flying on Yanmega, looks back to Diamond on Drifblim, saying, wonderful, isn't it? This is Formation M, a formation that grunts have constructed to capture Mesprit. She then looks at her device saying, oh, the airships at Lake Valor and Lake Acuity are headed back to Veilstone City already. They must have captured Azelf and Uxie. I'll catch Mesprit and be on my way too. As the device out of the airship comes out, looming over Mars's head. And sure enough, Mesprit is caught in a net as well, much to Diamond's shock. He calls it, no! Oh, as he jumps towards the net, hopping on, much to Mars's shock, and she says, hey! Diamond struggles to keep his grasp as he brings out Torterra, like, high above in the air. What? I mean, is it gonna fall? Is he gonna have it use his attack? Mars is amused, clapping, saying, what do you hope to accomplish with a heavyweight Pokemon who can't even fly? You are so amusing. The Diamond says, there's a lake below. Even if we fall, True and I won't get hurt. But first, Mars is shocked as Diamond has Torterra use Razor Leaf. It's time for the Diamond Special Mach 1 and only. The leaf heads towards the net capturing that caught Mesprit. Mars sees it saying, a single high-speed Razor Leaf? Honestly, I thought it had already cut through by this point. Mars says, you're trying to cut the net open, aren't you? But I'll repel the attack just as I did back at the lab. Diamond says, and now True, use an ordinary Razor Leaf. Torterra does just that, unleashing a horde of Razor Leafs that Mars can only barely shield herself from. He hears something get cut, but as she looks towards Diamond had a plan. He looks towards the airship, but the hatch is closed. She says, what happened? where's Mesprit? And where's that boy? He looks to the water, hearing two large splashes. He sees a fluttering of the cloth from the net, and as the ship takes off, she laughs. The airship has started to move. It was programmed to automatically return to Veilstone City the moment it captured the Pokemon at the lake. That means Mesprit is inside the ship. She recalls her Perugly from the Drift Blimp, saying, I was worried for a moment there, but it appears the mission is a success. That high-speed Razor Leaf didn't make it in time, and only snipped off a small piece of the net. And that boy and his Pokemon fell down. Splash, splash. She flies over the grunt saying, well, that's that. Nothing left for us to do here. Come on, grunts, we're leaving. What a weird ship design. Their windmill ship takes off. No, Diamond definitely had a plan. Either he traded places with Mesprit, or he managed to get inside to go along with Mesprit. Meanwhile, back in the cave with Azelf, Saturn is overjoyed to see the Pokemon. He says, capture it! But Azelf seems to use Flash? Both Pearl and Saturn are blinded. Pearl thinking, it's the same light as back then. Saturn activates a device on his ship saying, shade filter on. And as he can now see, he sees that Azelf is gone. Saturn looks around saying, it's gone. And that was quite an entrance. Ha! The kid is gone too. As we see Pearl scampering away, he says, I knew that light was coming this time, so I was prepared. I don't know how to explain it, but I just know that I'm doing the right thing. Finally, I get what Dio was saying back at Celestic Town. We have to protect them. We can't let those evildoers get a hold of that Pokemon. Chatler, Chimler, Rayler. He calls upon his Pokemon who are outside, just as we see the grunts surrounding the cave entrance, just as Azelf exits to a bevy of Haunter and Machamp. Saturn exits the cave saying, come on, move it, and make sure you keep your formation. As the Haunter move in on Azelf, it flies one way. A bunch of the Machamp, all stacked on top of each other, loom in on Azelf. It tries to slip out of the grass, but they manage to catch it by the tail, much to Pearl's shock. Saturn says, good. But Pearl calls out, stop it, Chimler! Flare Blitz! And Infernape does just that, unleashing a torrent of flames, which causes it to rise up, and it manages to smack down the Machamp holding Azelf. But they continue to hold on to Azelf, grabbing it again. Pearl says, Chimler, again, keep doing it until they let go of Azelf. So Infernape once again unleashes Flare Blitz, flinging itself towards the horde of Machamp. But more and more of Team Galactic's Pokemon move in on Azelf. Saturn says, it's starting to tire. Flare Blitz inflicts damage upon the user as well as the target, so I don't really need to do anything but better safe than sorry, right, Octillery? Gunk Shot. Pearl notices a little too late as Octillery unleashes Gunk Shot. A massive one too, my god! What are they feeding that artillery? We then cut over to Rad Rickshaw, who regains consciousness saying, what happened? I was underwater and then there was a flash of light. He looks to his Pokemon saying, thanks for the help, Cliff and Cliffette. Are you two okay? He then says, oh, what about Pearl? Huh? He looks to the dried up lake saying, what the lake is gone. What happened here? He sees Pearl amongst the suffocating Magikarp saying, I failed. They took Azelf with them. Azelf, the legendary Pokemon of this lake. He didn't protect it. Rad and his Clefairy come rushing over to Pearl as he calls out to him, ending the chapter. Dang. Man, see, I think what really threw me on how capable the commanders could be was the fact that, they've been overcome before, but I'm remembering now that was only because of Takanuji, seasoned veterans managing to take down Saturn's machinations. But here, this was the first real time our heroes have gone up against trainers of this caliber, and they did not stand a chance. It was a mollywhopping. Platinum, Candace, and Maylene, despite having the numbers, outclassed by Jupiter. Diamond's tenacity, probably getting him the closest because Mars just a little too flighty for her own good. While Pearl taking on Saturn, he was just completely outmatched by everything Saturn had at his disposal. But even if Diamond has managed to find a way around what they were up to, will it be the crucial thing that they need in order to win the day? This this went very poorly. And it's a situation where everyone needs to regroup, get all gym leaders on deck. You know, it always happens right before the taking on the final gym leader. That's when everything goes to hell. But this is definitely an all gym leaders on deck. The fact that they were able to take out 2 gym leaders and someone who's beaten those gym leaders so handedly, nah, gotta call in everyone for this one. And I'm interested to see the Sinnoh gym leaders come together. I hope they do. I would be disappointed if this was the one occasion where none of the gym leaders came together, because this has done a good job of really endearing me to the gym leaders. You know, my girls, what were they called? The not dressed for cold weather girl squad? You know, they put up a damn good fight, pulling out some great techniques and great moves, but Jupiter had an answer for everything. Like, man, I mean, let's say she was mostly fighting a double battle because Platinum was just too shook by everything, but hey, guess we'll just see where it goes from here. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.